In November 2013, a powerful storm hit the Philippines. Its international name was Typhoon Haiyan, but in the country it was called Typhoon Yolanda. At the time, people were told it was strong, but no one truly understood how destructive it would become. Storms were common, and many families believed they could survive it the same way they had survived others before. In Tacloban City, a 13-year-old girl lived with her parents near the coast. Their house was small, but familiar. That morning, the wind began to grow louder. Not the normal kind of wind, but a violent, screaming sound that shook walls and rattled roofs. Within minutes, the rain became unbearable, and the air felt heavy and dangerous. Then, the sea rose. A massive storm surge rushed into the city, moving faster than anyone could run. Water slammed into homes, breaking walls apart as if they were made of paper. The girl tried to hold on to her mother as the house collapsed, but the force of the water was too strong. She was pulled away, thrown into the flood, and instantly surrounded by debris. She couldn't see clearly. She couldn't breathe properly. "Se screamed," but the wind swallowed her voice. Pieces of wood, metal, furniture, and roofing slammed into her body. She was hit several times and felt pain everywhere. All she could do was grab onto a floating piece of wood and hold on. The water carried her through streets that no longer looked like streets. Cars were floating. Boats were crashing into buildings. Bodies passed by her, some moving, some completely still. She didn't know how long she was in the water. Time stopped making sense. Fear kept her awake, and instinct kept her holding on. Hours later, the wind slowly weakened. The water began to recede, leaving destruction behind. When she was finally pushed onto land, she collapsed. She had no idea where she was. Everything around her was destroyed. Houses were gone. Trees were snapped in half. The city she knew no longer existed. She called out for her parents. No one answered as night. Kame darkness covered the ruins. There was no electricity. No phones. No emergency help. She was injured, exhausted, and alone. She found shelter inside what was left of a damaged church and stayed there, shaking from cold and fear. Throughout the night, she heard distant cries, then nothing. Just silence. The next morning, she walked through debris and broken bodies, still hoping to see her parents. The smell of death filled the air. People were wandering in shock, injured and confused. There was no food, no clean water, and no clear sign of help. For 3 days, she survived on rainwater and raw rice she found in the rubble. Her wounds worsened. Her body became weak. Each day felt longer than the last. Rescue teams had not reached many parts of the city. Roads were destroyed, and communication was completely cut off. Many survivors believed no one was coming. On the 4th day, she heard voices that sounded different. Calm voices. Organized voices. She tried to stand but collapsed. Rescue workers found her unconscious and rushed her to an evacuation center. She was alive, but barely. When she regained consciousness, the first thing she asked was where her parents were. For days, there was no answer. Then, the truth came. Both of her parents were confirmed dead, swept away by the storm surge. Never found alive. She survived. They did not. Typhoon Yolanda killed more than 6,000 people. Millions lost their homes. Entire communities were erased in minutes. But beyond the numbers were real people. Real families and children who grew up with memories they never wanted. This story is real. It is not a movie. It is not fiction. It happened, and it continues to live in the minds of those who survived. As storms grow stronger each year, stories like this remind us how fragile life can be, and how powerful the will to survive truly is.